Leaders of Tomorrow, ET Now's initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. We're featuring two very innovative companies, Bhori Kitchen as well as the Darpana Academy of Performing Arts. Few performing institutes are better known perhaps for being as much ambassadors for the arts as much as for social change. So how really do the arts leverage themselves as a medium to drive innovation and behavior change? Pooja Jain was in Ahmedabad. She met with Malika Sarabhai of the Darpana Academy of Performing Arts to find out just that. Take a look at this very unique social platform.
My mother and all the other faculty were using the arts to talk about social problems that faced them. And I always thought that that's what arts were for.
Nearly 70 years ago, the Darpana Academy of Performing Arts began as a classical dance training institute founded by Mrinalini and Vikram Sarabhai. The academy has since been credited with giving many waning Indian art forms a new lease on life and leveraging the arts to fight the many social prejudices facing the country. We met with the founder's daughter and academy director Malika Sarabhai on site in her sanctuary-like academy to better understand Darpana's mission and milestones to date. Give us a brief snapshot of your journey and what's brought you here.
My mother married into Gujarat. She was half Tamil, half Malayali, married into Ahmedabad, found that there was no understanding of classical dance here at all, and always joked that that was her dowry to Gujarat. And of course, if you look today, there are probably more young girls learning Bharatanatyam in Gujarat than in Tamil Nadu. And that is certainly one woman's pioneering effort. When I joined in 1976, I basically joined because my father had more or less administered Darpana. But after his passing away, it was like on an auto mood, and I had done an MBA and a PhD in management, and my mother said, the least you can do is run it. And Amma was the first classical dancer to take a classical style and use it as a language to talk about what came to be known as dowry debts as early as 1963.
Well ahead of her time.
Well ahead of her time. But I think what we try and do here is be a darpan to society.
That reflection.
That reflection. And to be reflective of things that people don't necessarily want to see.
Perhaps the most rewarding aspect of being a performer is the appreciation you receive from the audience. Now, with your academy, you've given over 11,000 performances in over 90 countries. So there's something very fundamental to this universal audience appeal. If you had to put your finger on it, what would you say it is?
You know, I find that most academicians and classical performers try to mystify their work. Oh, you have to meditate for 4 years before you can touch a sitar. You know, I cleaned my guru's angan. I take the opposite view. I think that it is only by reaching out to my audience and of explaining my art in their vocabulary that I can get in newer and newer audiences. Without actually taking anything away from the dance, how do you make it accessible to people enough to lure them in, enough to want to learn more, enough to want to Google something and find out more?
Pique their interest, essentially.
Exactly.
How do you maintain this vibrant arts environment and yet at the same time make those day-to-day operational decisions that allow the academy to really flourish and experience growth?
One of the things they taught me at the IIM was to be able to take lots of blocks and somehow put them together and to be able to see each issue from 360 degrees. But I think running a not-for-profit requires more managerial skills and entrepreneurial skills than running a for-profit. It's exhausting. It's exhausting because you can't give money as the carrot. You have to constantly appeal to people to have a different motive, to have a different engine. The arts cannot survive on your saying survive on love and air. The arts need very systematic funding. And that is not happening. So a lot of my time goes in doing that.
So your sentiment, it really extends across the faculty here. Everyone believes in leveraging the arts to tackle everyday prejudices. How have you gone about selecting this faculty, these colleagues, so that they're on exactly the same page you are and the message is never lost?
I think one is that we live it. The second is I spend a lot of time talking to them. of discussing what's in the newspapers, of the right and wrong of it. The third is that most of my faculty grew up here. You know, there are many arts institutions which take only talented people. Amma believed, and I think all of us have taken on that belief, that training in the arts is such a molder of the personality of a person that you don't only train people who will become racehorses. You train every single person, or you give the opportunity to every person to somehow focus inward and delve in to get a strength that they can depend on.
Today, the Darpana Academy of Performing Arts has attracted the attention and support of the public and private sector alike, and beyond fulfilled the original humble dreams of its founders that date back 70 years. Yet in speaking with their daughter and Academy Director Mallika Sarabhai, this seems to be just the beginning.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Leaders of Tomorrow. We always love hearing from you, so do give us your feedback. The email ID is leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can also reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT, or call us on the number which is on your screen. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.